Hello. Hello, hello. Alright. Make sure everything is going good. Twitch, good. YouTube's good, I think. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome back. It's been a long time since I've done a coding stream, but that's just because I've been a little busy doing college stuff. You know how it is. Haven't really done much in Minecraft in a while, since probably the last coding stream, to be honest. I'm not really sure if I'm gonna be doing much stuff in Minecraft from now on, honestly, just because I I'm finally competent enough to start messing around with Unity, and it's so much easier than Minecraft plugins ever have been, honestly. So I think we're just gonna, and this is where I'm heading in my life, anyways. So like, why not start here? So yeah, if you guys missed it, this isn't actually my first stream in a while. It's just I streamed the other night, Splitgate with Aurora and Wither. That was fun. But yeah, so let's get started, I guess. Here we go. I got a blank Unity project here. This is always fun starting out. So yeah, there's nothing in here, as you can see. I'm kind of debating on how I want to start this project, because there's been a couple different ways that I've seen of actually structuring your project. When I learned last month, just the very basics, I didn't really do anything special. It was just the scene, you click play, you're in the level already. No start menu or anything. No saving or loading anything. It's just, a level pretty much. So, what obviously that's not how you do it in games and stuff. Anyways, but there's another one called single point entry I was interested in, where you clear out this entire scene here, except for like one object, which is like the game initializer, and then you have all of your other scripts get initialized or whatever from there, so you can time things properly if you wanted to. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure, honestly. I think we could try that. I kind of just wanted to mess around. Anyways, so we can do it. We can figure it out. Game initializer here. Obviously, we're gonna open this one up here in Visual Studio. Hooray for C++ and C#. I've said it a few times. I'm pretty sure I said it online before, but a lot of this stuff is like a lot of my C++ and C# knowledge came from just coding in Minecraft. So that's from Java. Right. So the main point of this single point entry thing, and then there's also Unity event stuff. Hey, welcome in, Weird Video Gamer. Yeah. I'm just messing around. I was thinking of doing like a third person type of thing for this stream stuff. I am making a different game on the side of college that I'm not going to stream, just because many people don't really like stream developing their games. But I'm just going to be messing around. Some third person, yeah. Because I have not done like a proper third person game where you can move the camera in and whatnot. I've done a first person one for college and for school. But yeah, so there's game initializer where it's single point entry, or there's Unity events where you create your own event stuff, and it's all based around decoupling your code with that. I want to try that out too. Oh, Zen? Yeah, I used to use Arc after I used Chrome, and then I switched over to Opera GX, which was just it was fine at first, and then it started getting really slow, and then I finally switched over to Arc when that came out for Windows. And then that slowed down, and they stopped development on it, apparently. And then I switched over to Zen. It's nice. Okay, yeah, how do I want to do this, right? So they, like, literally don't have anything on their scene. Except for, you know, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to do single point entry, at least not yet. I want to look into it more before I start messing around with that. So as Unity events. So I'm just gonna leave this how it is right now. Let me close out of this here. And we'll just start with something pretty basic. Let's just do like a plane here. You know, the usual Unity project setup, whatever. Do a capsule for the player. This, you want to set it. So 1.08 is the, yeah. So, okay. We got all this stuff. Let's make another folder here. Materials. And in the materials, we'll just make or material here. Make it like some grass or something. You know what we could do? We could just start off with some terrain instead of a plane here. Why don't we do that? Well, actually, no, because if we do that, then I need like textures with the paint, the terrain, and all that, which I don't want to have to deal with right now, honestly. We'll just do the 4, the normal 4 here. There, I'm there. Got it. And let's make it. Let's do an empty here for the level. All right, cool. Yeah, I think that's good. With the camera, we're gonna have to attach it to the player. So let's put this at right there, and then main camera here, and then we drag this up. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna have it like this. We're probably gonna have it zoomed out a bit more. You can see like the whole character here. And up a bit more. And probably angled down a little bit. I don't know. We'll have a camera controller to this stuff. Yeah, ProBuilder. Yeah, I've used it a little bit, but not a ton. I'm just not like I can mess around with it. I probably should, to be honest, but yeah. Yeah, I guess why don't we just do that then? I mean, I'm not really building a level at this moment, but yeah, I'll install it when we start actually messing with the levels and stuff. Probably isn't too far away, but I just want to get the basics in. Just gonna do a movement script here. Should you build any Unity? I mean, honestly, I'm not sure. You could, honestly, do whatever you want, honestly, right? If you if there's something you've never done, you could try that. Try something you've never done before. Alright. So obviously, I'm gonna do a basic walk speed and stuff. So do keep in mind, I've only been working in Unity a little over a month. So I don't know all the best practices. But, yeah. So if there's any tips or anything you guys have, don't hesitate to put them in the chat. Yeah, walk speed. We'll just do that. Let's start with that. Okay, there's nothing there. Let's see, we're not gonna have any animations yet or anything. So we do the way I do it. I don't know if you guys put rigid bodies on your player, but the way I learned last month was with a character controller, and we just didn't do rigid bodies on like anything, kind of. But we don't even use character controller anything here. We just use it like character control.move pretty much. I really gotta look into like what the point of the rigid body is, because I'm not 100% sure. I mean, besides like collision and pushing around and whatnot, because we have messed around with it a little bit, but not me personally. Right. There we go. All right, so right, we also want the input system. I believe we already have the new input system package in here. So all I would want to do here is do this input action serial. Let's call player here. And in here, we want to make movement controller, why not? So let's rename you to walk. And we can make that U should be a value, I believe. Vector 2. And we can add, yeah, up, down, left, right, and positive. Will be keyboard stuff. Okay. There we go. There's that, and we can add it for controller as well. I believe it's just this again. You want the gamepad left stick up, gamepad left stick down, left stick left. And right, there we go. I also should add some control schemes here. Keyboard, mouse, and then Here we go. And show all, and you all are used for gamepad. You are all used for PC. Alright. You're fine. I think I want to be analog here. And I think that should do it, right? So that's for walk. You'd save that. And I'll put this down here for right now. We'll come back to that in a minute. So what I have done recently is make a kind of like an input manager. And we do a and make it a singleton. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Wait here. There we go. There's some safety there. Okay. And I know it's already private, but every time I make, I auto-generate another method. It puts private in there, so I'm just, whatever. Cool. And now we need the input action asset. Player input action. And we want put a walk action like that. We could do cool. Hey, welcome in, Jamie. Prison Court. I mean, I should, but I don't know. I haven't been touching much Minecraft stuff lately. Even my, college has been ramping up, starting Unity last month and all that. So I'm not sure. Unity has just been so much easier to me than plugins ever have been, in my opinion. In my 4 years of working on plugins, it's been a lot of the same thing. Meanwhile, Unity is write a little bit of code to get much more of a result, kind of, So I don't know, I just find it a lot easier, and this is where I'm going in my life anyways, so I'm not sure when I'll go back to Minecraft, to be honest. Yeah. Just throwing that out there. It is open source and everything's out there. If anyone wants to fork it, start working on it themselves, and I mean, I guess it's within their rights to do so, as says the license on it, right? And I don't mind personally, but there's not a ton there to really start with anyways. You know how to use character control.move? I think you just pass in a vector, right? Yeah, you just pass in a vector. Obviously, X and Y and all that. Unless you mean like how to get the vector or whatever. Yeah, I know, Jamie. There's never really been a lot of good prison cores out there. Never been a good public, you know, not much good public prison cores out there, especially none that are free. Again, I can't tell, I cannot attest for the quality of Coral prisons, and it is quite expensive. But that one released a while back. I personally don't like the group that made it. I don't like them at all. I don't like Abyss Development, but it is a prison core. You can check it out, I guess. There's also Ed Prison, which isn't in the best state. It's a little buggy. Yeah. I mean, if you got a developer, you can fork the old X Prison as well as an option. It also depends on, yeah, I think it got a bit buggy lately. I think when the Recode first came out, it wasn't too bad. But, yeah, I don't know. It all depends, cause yeah, X Prison was way more buggier than Ed Prison ever has been. But you know, just like Draw3, the developer of X Prison, he got out of Minecraft and he never looked back. So. Let me make sure Twitch is Twitch chat. Alright, cool. Okay. So yeah, we got our player walk action here. What I've seen someone do for this is they just handle all of the you know, like what handle all the inputs in here and just have booleans for like public boolean, or in this case it would be a vector2 player walk. Just do that. Yeah, the problem with prison cores though is a lot of people want packet mines, which is an understandable thing to want because it is very efficient in terms of server performance. But it's also the hardest thing that, you know, it's super hard to actually implement. At least it was for me, because it has to do with packets and NMS and all that stuff. It's just a mess. You gotta make it fluid for the player as well. The big obstacle I ran into when working on my prison core was, you know, the fake blocks I got working. But when you teleport to the mine from a different world, you won't see your mine refilled or filled up or whatnot. So you kind of have to solve that. There's we could do a fake loading screen, which is probably what I'm gonna have to do if I ever go back to it. But what some people do is they inject the packets into the chunk loading packet. They inject the fake blocks into that. But that's really complicated. I mean, I just haven't. I don't know. I mean, I could probably figure it out if I kept looking into it, but that's like, it's been such a while, you know. But yeah, so player walk is just player walk action dot read value of vector2. That, and this gives us the direction that we're walking. Yeah. So are you talking about like your own Private Mines plugin? Because there's one just called Private Mines by Untouched Odin. I do know him. I know he just recoded his, pretty sure, but I don't think it's perfect either. I mean, I haven't used it myself or anything, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, this is updated here, And then in player movement, we just get that whenever we want to move. Yeah. It's a bit buggy somehow. Yeah. Did you code that, or did you get someone to code that? Because if it's buggy, it just depends on who made it. If they, you know, they should fix their bugs if they made it and you paid for it. But it's they're their own person. I don't know. And are you talking about packet private mines or like the normal private mine, no blocks? Right. So okay. So what I like to do here is kind of calculate the speed, or have a method for it. Because not public. I'll just do a void here. Let's see. Do float calculate speed. So first off, we say start off with the base walk speed, and then if we're sprinting, we add however much sprint speed we want to add here. Right. Yeah. A lot of the prison cores, a lot of the prison server plugins were made all for 1.8, just because that's when everyone was making prison servers, and everyone likes the 1.8 PvP, even though it's kind of terrible in my opinion. But as for what I'm working on, I'm just doing whatever, messing around, getting more practice in. Right now, I want to make a third-person type of game here, so just like I don't know what game, but just a third-person type of thing here going on. So we got this, and then we want the input action player sprint. Player sprint. Yep, that's me, Tim. Yeah. Already. Oh, player sprint action, my bad. Yep. Alright, and then deep seek before it ever I put you onto deep seek. I'm not sure what you mean, to be honest. I've never talked about deep seek before. So as for player sprint, it's just gonna be player sprint action dot is pressed, because you gotta hold it down. Yeah, I think yeah. Are you subscribed to me? Because I think I remember you from a previous stream. You might. I think you also said that then too. I think you said that before. But yeah, isn't DeepSeek like an AI, or am I wrong there? Kind of like ChatGPT or something. But yeah, that's fine. It's been a while since I've really done a coding stream, so large language model, right? Yeah, I did one stream on an AI called Codella that my friend Ed made, developer of Ed Prison. But I don't use that, especially I don't even mess with Minecraft that much. But it's just an AI to generate Minecraft plugins, pretty much, and I'm not a big fan of it because I think it's lazy. But I think it's cool that he was able to make it, right? Because, you know, being like linear. It should just be my GitHub username, which is Theopping. Actually, the link for the prison core is github.com/Astra Prison. So yeah. In terms of how much I've got done, all of my progress on the recode for it, or I started fresh just to live stream it, and that's the most updated version as well. So if you go to the Astra Prison repository and you go to mantis-recode branch, that's as far as it's got. And I've also live streamed all of that. So all the live streams are up on my channel in the live tab. Should be a playlist for it too, I think, but I don't know. Just in case you're curious about all that. At least you also gave devs know what they are in like linear. I'm not 100% sure what you mean by that, Jim. In like linear. Weird. Linear algebra, got it. Yeah, I'm not too sure I'm very good at that, honestly. I mean, we did do some math classes in my college before we got into actual coding. I want to say linear algebra was a part of it, but we only have classes for a month at a time, so it's been a while, and also not a ton of stuff. It's an accelerated course, so it's only a 2-year program for a bachelor's degree. So it's like quick, go, you know, like only a month for each class, and sometimes there's 2 classes each month. So yeah, can't say I'm the best at math, to be honest, but yeah. Well, I'm still doing it. I'm gonna say last month was the most enjoyable class so far, and that was literally just us getting started in Unity. But I've been enrolled since I want to say April last year. So oh yeah, I guess it's already been a year, and I'm supposed to graduate in July of next year. So there's still a ways to go before I'm done with it, all that, but. Yeah, this is that stuff. I gotta make a sprint button here. And for that, obviously, we will do left shift there. And then for controller, we will do left stick press. There we go. Your sprint and walk. All right. Yep, that should be fine. And then in update, or I'm gonna make another method. Here, and then we'll call movement in update. Okay. So we say, I believe we have to get the direction that they're going exactly. Possibly, let me just say, yeah. So what we do is, the vector 2 of the input direction from the input manager. Right, so this is the vector 2 player walk that we got down here. And then, yeah, we could say, I believe, okay, math here. So controller.move, input direction. Obviously, we need to say time, build time. We also need the speed, so we can actually just put it in times. And that should theoretically allow us to move around. We could test it out, obviously, but I'm probably missing something, to be honest. So let's say when we sprint, we're gonna add an extra 4 on there. Let me go to my project settings. Put this back down here. Because in editor, we don't want to reload the main or scene when we enter play mode. That takes a lot of time. I think that's good. Oh, we need an input manager here as well, before I forget. There we go. And the player is there. Got it. Now this can go up there. Okay. I am playing, right? But I don't think it's working. Which would make sense, because I feel like I'm definitely forgetting something. I think I gotta check my other repositories real quick here. Give me a second. Let me remember. Let me just look at my other repositories that we've been working on here. I'm definitely forgetting something. I'm just not sure. This is why I need more practice and why I'm streaming. Because I need to just know how to do this. Right, so when it comes to moving, right. Alright, let me actually look at the most updated one, not this old one. Man, let me see here. Alright. Right. So we need the transform right and all that. So it would be here, I have this pulled up here now. So what we do is we get the horizontal direction and the vertical direction, and get the actual direction from that. Transform right times the horizontal direction, plus transform forward in the vertical direction. And then we use this to move direction, speed, time. Yeah, okay. That's what I'm forgetting, obviously. Vector 3. do this, and then we want transform right. Is it? What was it? Plus or no? It's times, right? Yeah, times. All right. This is. Oh yeah. It's already vector 3 times input direction times plus forward. Okay, right. And that just passes into there, and we don't have any y in here, so we're not gonna be moving up and down. Nope, still. Oh, you know what? I don't think we enabled the actual controls. That might help. Enable player controls, right? So we got the player input action. Enable multiplayer 3D game. Cool. See you later. Have fun with that as well. There we go. I will go ahead and disable controls. I'm just gonna copy this. Move this down. Disable. 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 There we go. And here, I believe on enable, we're gonna enable player controls. Or actually, what we could do is we could put this in the player themselves. On enable. And disable. Oops. Instance disable player controls. I'm going to copy this and we're going to put it in here as well. So we don't need to put this here. And I'm going to move this up as well. Keep this right there. There we go. Cool. And that should fix that, right? Yeah, there we go. And we can move. You can sprint as well. Oh. All right. So yeah, let's do like maybe 5 and 5. Right, there's our walk, and there's our sprint. We can obviously tell that we're sprinting now here. And obviously, I think we only want to sprint if we're going forward, right? That would make sense. So we can adjust that. So what we can do is say, here's the speed, right? I think what I want to do here is say, all right, if we could check the magnitude of the X, or no, yeah, right? Because if it's positive, it's positive, we're going forward, I believe, and negative, we're going backwards. So, yeah, if we're sprinting, and we're gonna check that we're walking forward. Alright, that should do it, I think. for, right? No, X is the wrong direction. That's right. It means Y. Yeah, the X is transform right. Yep, now we can walk. We can sprint when we're walking forward, but we can't sprint going backwards or left or right. Only when we're going forwards, or at least when we're holding W. We still sprint going sideways or strafing or whatever. Whenever holding W, we can sprint. And also, what we could do to make it more simplified is it's a player sprint, right? Y greater than 0, and they're holding that, right? So we could just put that in there, and then we can remove it from here. And then, yeah, now this is like a rule that we created. They can only sprint if they are walking forward and they're holding the sprint key. Cool. Yeah, does the same thing. Holding sprint doesn't work. Only when I'm walking forwards. And now we need a camera controller as well here. This camera controller is going to be a bit difficult. I've never done a third-person camera here. Alright, maybe I should look up something on how to do a third-person or whatever. Third-person camera, right? Well, let's try, we can try it ourselves. Let's say, what we need to do here, right? So, what are the rules we want to follow here for this camera? We want, moves around the player if they're standing still, right? Or moves the direction the player is walking if they're walking forward. Right, so how does a normal third-person camera work? I think that is basically it. Moves it around the player. Right. So we can work on this. We can move around. We can work on moving around the player. So we need like a radius that the camera will be going around. We could do an int probably radius. Or no, we can make it a radius that the camera is going around. We also need the input stuff. Let me also turn this down a bit. There we go. Okay. All right. We need like camera controls, right? So where do we want to put that in our input? Probably in the player, right? We could do camera here, probably. And this could be to look. And this probably needs to be a value of vector 2. Probably. So add finding, I think we just go to mouse. We can do, I think it's delta. PC, and then gamepad for right stick. I guess. No, We need this analog. Yeah. Right stick up. Right stick down. There we go. Let's use the gamepad. 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 Cool. So let's say analog stick. So let's say that's what we said here. Analog stick. And we should probably put a processor of stick dead zone on there, and that should be fine like that. Same thing here. Stick dead zone. There we go. Just for the analog sticks there. Okay. For now, we can go up and we can say, instead of player controls, we can go down. Say camera controls. What's spelling controls, right? Yeah. I don't know why I keep thinking there's two L's in controls. It's probably because of controller. Camera look. Action. And public vector 2. Camera look. Get. Target set. Cool. And camera look action equals player input action. Look. Camera look equals camera look action read value vector 2. There we go. On enable, we want camera look. Enable, and then although that could maybe be used for menus or something, but we'll figure that out later. We have to refactor, it's alright. Still pretty early on, anyways. Controller, yeah. So we have the radius. In here, obviously we need the vector 2. Input direction, let's do that. Okay. You do a boolean for boolean. You do boolean for invert y and invert x, I guess. I don't know why you know it would invert x, but you know, whatever. Not my choice. So, okay, input direction. And you know what, we should probably do a point to rotate around. Center to rotate around, right? Because it's not just going to be the player itself that they're rotating around, because, well, maybe. Oh yeah, we also got to rotate. We're not just rotating the camera around, we also got to, we're not just moving the camera around, we also got to rotate it towards the player as well. Which reminds me, we should probably do a game manager class here as well, so we can actually keep track of the player and whatnot. One thing I don't like about Visual Code right now, half the time when I create a new script, it just opens up to reload, and then obviously it doesn't open the script that I just created, so I gotta minimize it just to open the script. Anyways. So this will be where I have the player and the player movement. Well, yeah, and then on awake, we're gonna say player equals find object, game object, find with tag player, and then player movement equals get component. All right, okay, there we go. We should fill in player and player movement, and we want public and probably get private set. Everything here. Get private set. There we go. Oh, yeah, I gotta make this public here. Cool. And now in the we also gotta make this a singleton here. And then in awake. There you go. Okay. And now we need the game manager here. Put that up, and we will say game manager there. Cool. Great. I think I want to go down here and go to the script order. Script order. Script execution order, there we go. I want to add the game manager above. I don't want to add, whoops. Okay, I want to add the input manager above the game manager because I think the game manager might need it. There we go. Just for now, and then, yeah. I'll put that in level, I guess. All right. We draw center. So we could do the player as just center, or I don't know. Just keep that there. Let's actually just make. I don't know. Again, I've never made a third-person camera before, so it's definitely going to be interesting. Right, so the input direction X and Y, right? So we say for this input direction. So yeah, we do that. And the input direction is what moves the camera. So we can say transform Man, this is where math comes in, with the radius and stuff. Man, okay. Circle and radius and all that. Yeah, this is where my math fails me. definitely. Hmm. I can look it up. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Just a basic third-person camera tutorial, right? We'll find. So I'll find something to look at. Actually, I just Google it. Okay, yeah, yeah. So this is saying, let me just show what I'm reading here. This is from sharpcoderblog.com, third-person camera in Unity. And this is the example that they got. You move around the, it'll move around the player. It'll not, it'll collide with walls, basically. Assume it'll go up and down. So they got the player, obviously, create a new capsule. So the capsule, so they have a parent for the player, okay. And they have another parent for the camera, that's interesting. So what are they doing here? This is the player? Okay, yeah. So this is them moving. Alright, gravity. We haven't had to jump yet or anything, so it's fine. So this is just them moving? And they have the... They set the rotation.y to transform viewer angles y. Oh, they have a vector here. That's what they're setting it to. When grounded, so you recalculate move direction based on axis. Oh, if they're grounded. Interesting. The player object, you'll notice that it added another component called controller. It's similar to camera parent object to player camera parent variable. Alright. Did they ask for the camera in here? Well, they have the the camera parent transform right there. But did they use it in here? Okay, right here. Local rotation. Vision X00. Alright, okay. I see. And they're obviously moving around the player. Right, okay. Player and camera rotation. If can move. Rotation to Y. That's X. Rotation to X is not Y. Okay. Well. And okay, it would happen a lot if I was able to test this code out, but I didn't want to move all this into my project right now. Oh, hide inspector. That's an interesting tag I should utilize somewhere. I mean, right, my game manager, game object, player, and player movement. Although that's not shown right here. Oh, probably because it's a private set. If I was to just say... I was to just say this. Yeah, and yeah, because you would be able to set it in the inspector. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's already fine. It's not going to show in the inspector. Okay. Cool. But yeah, so we want... I just want the very basic bare bones stuff, right? This is the camera collision, right? I don't need to worry about that at this moment. So we have like look sensitivity and stuff as well. I'm gonna put X first. Okay. So they have the transform of the camera and rotation X. So let's just look here. If they can move, rotation Y is of the player transform. So let's do that, right? Vector rotation. Center dot rotation dot, what was it? Like Euler angles. Yeah. So they set that there. I wish they would write more comments in their code here, just for someone like me who's just like, what? Yeah. Rotation X. Where do they modify X? Anywhere else? That for jump, right? Well, let's move direction. We don't need to worry about moving. So rotation Y is plus equals to the X look speed. So let's just say times sensitivity X. Hopefully this is right. Y times sensitivity Y. If this is wrong, we could easily just swap them out anyways, so it's fine. Local rotation. Euler, right? And they pass in rotation X 0 and 0. So they don't use rotation Y in here. Transform Euler angles. Okay, so they put it on the actual player. And that would move the camera as well, because it's a child of the player. Okay, right. So that makes sense. Maybe I should do that setup then. I could do that. Because we do need to move the player as well, right? So that's fine actually. We can mess around with that. So they have just an empty here. Their player. Put this at 0. That's important. In the main camera, we call this model, since it's in that, and we can say we're gonna do camera. No, I don't want that. Let's really put that right, main camera. So we got the model here is the player object, and this here is the main camera. Okay. Do a serialized field parent. Actually, we could probably just get it in the start. Maybe. I'm just gonna do camera parent. It's like that, right? And we don't need to do that. So now here we move this there. We can move this camera to go script up here so we can access it easier. We're not dealing with this at the moment. Sensitivity X. Let's do 200 on each. So start with that. And then right there, so they rotate the player on the Y. So manager dot player walk here. So if they're walking forward, we'll say player dot transform. What do? They do Euler angles. Do vector 2 0 dot y. So if the player can walk, is walking forward, there's that. And then we'll say else we'll just rotate the camera. Although, actually, it's very interesting. All right. How does it move, like, up and down and around if we're just, you know what, I'm not gonna question it. Hopefully that, I mean, we could test this out now, see what happens, I guess. I have little faith. Ooh, I think the sensitivity is, yeah, way too, are we using this anywhere? Oh, yeah, we are. So then I'm just gonna say player angles. Do that for right now, and we'll figure that out in a bit. The sensitivity is way too high. Let's just come to 10. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. It's just, and I'm not being moved with it, with the player, because we're not moving parent, or because it's not on there. I think, what do? Do they have a, no, right? They don't have the camera under the capsule. So that means that the player, yeah, so we need the player script instead on the player, not on the model, which makes sense. Here we go. Still not. Oh. Moving up and down isn't doing anything, but if I walk forward, or no, if I walk. Oh, right. Let me. Should be Y, I think. Right. Yeah, not X. Keep getting that confused. That's fine now. Something happens when we do that, so I'm walking forward. Oh, oh. Yeah, no, it's not moving the camera with me. I see. I want to move forward, it goes down. I can look around and stuff. Looks up like that. Okay. Very bizarre behavior. So it's not moving the actual player here. Or the camera, I mean. Which is interesting. Alright, so let's see again. What do? They move inside the player object. Oh, right. I need to remove that myself on your capsule collider. Okay. Camera parent, put that inside the player object, change the position to 0. Okay, I want to do that. Main camera inside the camera parent object and move it behind the player, yeah. Again, they are... Indeed, this is just moving the character. And that's on the parent now. Oh, but you know what? Oh yeah, we don't even have player tagged. So I want to go here and I want to add tag player. It's my bad. Okay, so I can't look up and down unless I am like actually moving forward. Then I can look up and down. It's very interesting. Oh. Oh, you know what? Also, we didn't set it as a vector 2.0, so that's right. I mean, we could just put it up there. Actually, I don't know why. There we go. So maybe that'll change something. Nope, change nothing. All right, right. So this is literally just moving, right? And this is applying gravity, right? We don't use move direction down here. Rotation Y is that. Rotation X is clamped to the look limit. Camera parent, low rotation. Alright, I'm just gonna forget about that. I'm just gonna put this up. We want the also these could be wrong as well, so we could check that in a second. Right, so we want a maximum. What do we call it? What is that called? I mean, they just call it a look limit or whatever. Look limit. They call it a look limit X, but oops. All right, so there's that. And the look limit, we just put 90 there. I mean, what did they put? They put 60. Okay, we could do 60. That's fine. Oh. Well, I can move around now. Around the player. Well, it's still too high. Let's try one. See what happens. I still don't move with the player. Right, I think that's just because I'm moving the character controller. And not the transform. Up and down. Moves me left and right. Okay, yeah, so I did get those correct the first time. I believe. And it's inverted. So I need to do that. Yeah, it's all inverted. Which is definitely weird. I don't have it inverted pre-selected, but no, it's fine. Up, down, move around the player, but again, oh, it's also moving the player. Interesting that it would move the player. Alright, okay. Problem is, I'm moving this differently. I'm moving the player differently than them. Because I don't want to use their movement script stuff. No. Oh, wait, you know what? Maybe, you know what? This might help. Put this on here. It might help. Oh. Oh. That collider that pushed me upwards. There we go. That's pretty much exactly what I wanted. Except I wanted to go up over the character as well. To view over them. It's not moving the player anymore, so that's good. So how are they moving the X around the character, right? And also, let me do... Why are we, why is there a collider being created? Or what's that collider down here, I should say? Oh yeah, it's on here. Oh, you know what? I think it's because I gotta put this... Alright, I'm gonna move the camera down a bit. Let me zoom in out a bit here. Yeah, you can look down and stuff, but it's not exactly right. You can look down and up, but that doesn't make sense at all to look down and up like this. We should be looking up and down over the character. So however we're moving the X, we want to also move the Y kind of just like that. Or like over the player or whatever. Also, how I fixed that little collision box down there is I moved this to 0 and I moved this up because the character controller is what gives the collider. Right. So, okay, now that we have a basic, setup here with the camera, and the look limit stops me from looking too high up or down. But yeah, that makes sense, right? But we want to also rotate the X like that. So what do we say? What if we do the same thing here? And I'll put a dash here so I know it's new code here. Comment this out. We'll comment this stuff out. So what we do to the when we do the Y, we want to do the X. Let me just also call this Y and this X and then put Y here. And then let's just swap Y. Yeah, I apparently spelled that wrong. That's fine. Do that, and then you applied the X to the local rotation, but there's the player Y. So let's say we do this, and then we do this to the Y as well. All right, we pass Y in there. And then X is looking up and down, so we can have that. Let's try this. Just for right now. Nope, now I can't look left and right. I still look up and down, okay. I think, is this what did it then? So I'm there, what does that? Nope. Again, let's put this back how it was. We don't need to do that, I already did that. Alright, so this is what we're doing originally, I think. Nope. No, it just doesn't let me do that now. Okay, well, we messed something up. Let me just go back. Before we did that. And again, let's call this Y and this X and X. Oh, I did that. It's because I renamed this. And I didn't put a sensitivity in for that. Alright, well, I'm dumb. So this should work exactly the same as we had it, yeah. Right? But we want this. Do that. So what if I comment this up? Now I can only look up and down. Okay, so that is what we want to do. So we want to put that out. What do that? And then obviously that, right? What do that? What if I set the X to the same thing? Yeah, there we go. Except it's also rotating the player, which is what we don't want to do. But this is the basic camera setup, right? We don't want it to rotate the player. So this is what we're doing there with that. So what if I say 0 and we gotta keep that as 0. There's just no other way around that. I don't think. And this is only if they're walking. If they're walking forward, then we will also rotate them with the camera. Right? What this means right now, can't move the camera at all unless we are walking forward, which is what we don't want, so we gotta figure out how to do that now. So this is what rotates the camera around it, looks like. It's unfortunate. Can we just do a point? Can we just, yeah, let's try that. Let's do an empty. Or a cube. Let's make a cube. And we will have this on the player's like right shoulder pretty much. I don't want to do this. We want it to basically shoulder right. Okay. Shoulder right, and we have another one for the left shoulder and later. That means instead of getting the player stuff, I want to find the center will be the shoulder here. Right? And then you can say wherever the player goes, we instead put, well, we do need to rotate the player as well. So we'll keep that, but then we'll also say clicks rotation, and then we'll say center with that. That makes sense to me. Camera, oh wow, really? Right, okay, that makes sense. Right, because the player is the one moving, and that would move the camera around. So what if I just put this here or something? So it can't look up or down either. Okay, well, right, because we're moving the, okay, here's how it's working. We're moving the player left on the y-axis, we're rotating the player when we move our camera, and we're walking forward. And that is what moves the camera left and right. pretty much. But I don't want to do that when we're not moving. When we're not moving, I just want it to rotate around the right shoulder pretty much. So how can we do that? I think what we need to do is put the man. So instead of the player rotating, we want the camera to rotate with the right shoulder. So I think that would just have to go underneath the right shoulder, but that won't work too well if we are... Let's say shoulder, and then put that there. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's exactly what we want. No? Right? I think that's exactly what we want, actually. Let's now make this pretty much invisible. Let's just say remove that, remove the renderer. And obviously we don't want the box collider. So now, nice. But when I start moving, it snaps the camera. That's not something that we want. We want the player to turn in the direction of the camera as they start walking. Let's add a face to this model real quick because it'll make it a lot easier to know where we're going. We'll say that, and then we'll move it up, and then we will move it this way. We'll make it like that, pretty much, like Among Us. Yeah, there we go. And I'm actually gonna make it a little bigger here. Oh, we don't have napkin stuff on. There we go. Of course, there we go. Perfect. And let's make a material here. Base, because why not? Looks like he's wearing sunglasses. Right, this totally makes sense right here, right now. So I do think that we actually want... Yeah, we want to invert the Y. Because it, I don't think it's rotating the proper direction. Or maybe that wasn't the right way. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah. Perfect. Am I an idiot? Hold on. Yeah, we want it inverted when they're not moving. So maybe we just invert it here. See what happens. And now it's just not working properly. He is rotating, but we're also rotating in that. Why does that happen? Did I invert it? Well, actually, I think I know exactly why. Alright. Let's just put it in a boolean up here. So how do we want it to work? If walking forward, mutation Y. Oh, okay. Well, again, let's just rename this to, and then this to Y, and then this to X. There we go. And then Y, and the -1. Right? Yeah, I think that's right. No, it's not. God damn it. Why do they have to be fucking different? I want these to be the same. But these are different. These are the opposite, so that's the problem. So let's, can I transpose this? Is there an easy way? Can I say vector to, can't, there's no easy way to transpose it. Well, what I could just do is say, I just transpose it manually. Right, and then that means this is direction, direction, direction. And then this surely would be Y, and this really would be X. I think. Stupid to do that just to transpose it, but you know, yeah, there we go. Right, that makes sense. And then, yeah, I do want it to be inverted, but I want it to look right if I'm, you know, moving right. It's not doing that right now. Which do be a problem, isn't it? Right. If I'm walking forward, then am I inverting the wrong one now? Am I? No, this is the same. So I think what's happening is right, left looks left, and then left looks right. God damn it. So okay, left looks left. There we go. I don't know why was this so hard for me to understand? I think it was already doing what I wanted it to do. Anyways, let's get rid of this mouse cursor whenever we play the game or start playing the game. And let's actually just put this right there because yeah. All right. The game manager. When we start, let's just say cursor lock state. Let's lock cursor lock state. Cursor visible false. And that should let me, yeah, it should let me do that. Yeah, there we go. Nice. And now let me go to the camera now and say, camera. Let's say, let's replace this. Left shoulder. Right. So I think what this should be called is something to do with the pitch. So yeah, but whatever. So left shoulder. So if it's a left shoulder, then we need to take the shoulder. And so also what we need to do is this needs to be basically centered on the camera because it's not right now. I believe if we just say 0, then it is. Let's now move over a bit. Let's move this. Let's move the camera down to be 0 as well. Yeah, 0. Move the shoulder down simply. The camera rotated? No. Well, this could be 0 as well. Well, okay, now it's... Where's the shoulder at? Yeah, alright, let's move the shoulder now from here. Oh, actually, yeah, the shoulder just needs to be, like, basically there. And then the camera needs to, so if we're gonna move up and down, we need to move the whole shoulder. The camera needs to be moved back. So now, let's move it up again. And that's good. Let's move the whole shoulder right a bit. And then the camera back again a little bit. Move this right a bit. There we go. Alright, cool. So now, if we are on the left shoulder, and we need to make this shoulder, we need to basically move this to -X right there. So if then we need to say shoulder right. Oh, center dot x 9 equals -1. Center dot position dot x. There we go. Am I not able to set that? Can I not just say like vector 3 dot 0? Nah, let's just do that. I really can't just, okay. Alright, let's just see what happens. Play. Right, doesn't do anything, but if I was to go here and say left shoulder, then yeah, there we go. Now we are on the left shoulder. It's a little jittery when we move left and right. When we're moving the player. Huh. Right. Okay. I think we just need to say if we're moving, then we rotate because Yeah. We're just gonna set the magnitude greater than 0 or not equal 0. 0. Alright. Because if we're moving left and right and all that. Right. Hold on. I always want the player to be facing forward when I'm rotating the camera, no matter which way they're moving. Or I just want it to face, I want the player to face forward no matter whenever we're moving, right? But if we if we only rotate him when we're moving forward, then when we move left next time, they won't be facing forward with the camera or whatever. Anyways, yeah. Let's actually say transform right shoulder position, right shoulder position. And then in here, we'll go down here, and we'll do that down here, I guess. Right shoulder position dot X, right shoulder position dot Y, else we're just gonna say equals right shoulder position. And that way I think we'll be able to change it on and off without having to do it on start. Oh. Yeah, okay, that's a problem. Obviously. Because this, yeah. Screw it. What we need to do then? Maybe center position. Well, if we do this, then... Alright, no, wait, that should be fine. Oh, let's see. Because we're not adding on to it, we're just... Oh god. Okay, yeah, and then I think... Well, no, because it will be... it'll negative it every time. That will switch between them every time, which is not what we want. So, let's say bull is on left shoulder. It's on left shoulder. Let's say that. Else, if shoulder, that means it's not left shoulder. Then we just swap it again. I'll make a... There has to be an easier way than making a new vector 3 with just the negative x. Right, and I just... really can't just do that. Which is annoying. Set new x. And, well, this doesn't help either because I need to put in a y and a z as well. At least it's better than creating a new vector 3 or whatever. Whatever. Let's say that. And we'll say is on left shoulder equals true. Is on left shoulder equals false. Right there, of course. Don't forget about that. Put it up above. Well, in case. The main camera left shoulder is not on. Still on the right shoulder, yep. That's good. And then if I was to say left shoulder. Interesting. So what if I say left shoulder from the beginning? Nope, still on right shoulder. This, I don't think set actually changes it, and so I think we just do have to do a new vector 3 every time. Alright. Alright, well, yep, now it's just flipping. If not left shoulder, I have to specify that. Yeah, yep. Alright, left shoulder, yep, working great. And right shoulder. Alright, well that messed up somehow. Because the camera wasn't, you know. I think we have to do it on walking or something. Actually, we should, what we should do is just say, I think we just need a position generally relative to the player. I think that's what we have to do. So what if I say, like, player X, player Y, player Z, and then player X equals, we have the relative distance between them and the shoulder position. So let's first say vector 3 player position. So we would do player position dot x minus center dot x or whatever. And then y and then z. It's probably a much easier way to do this, but I don't know at this moment. Alright, so there's the relative distance that the the shoulder is away from the player. Then here, we pass in x. Well, no, because that won't do it either. Well, that's the it's relative, right? So center x minus player x. No. And then center position x plus here. I don't think I'm actually changing anything here. Alright, this is definitely not the way to do it. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Definitely not. So, I mean, this works to a degree. The problem is, if my camera's not right where it is right now, then it's not gonna go right on the exact opposite side of the player. Which is a problem. So when we're moving the camera, or it's the shoulder that's... Shoulder kind of moves a little bit, but most importantly it's rotating. And the camera is rotating around that. right? Maybe I should call this pivot. Pivot point or whatever. Keep it at shoulder. Simple. What if we just had a second camera that's deactivated on the other shoulder? I was thinking that as well. But honestly, I'm not too sure. So if we were to copy this left shoulder, right? And then we just say left shoulder is on the negative. Right. So then the left shoulder would have to be deactivated. Or no, I don't. That's auto work as well. I feel like that can't be it either. It's definitely gonna be a better way. I'm just not thinking of it right now. Let me see how long I've been streaming for. 2 hours already. Wow, 2 hours and not the most amount of work. But we've got it. We got a good start here. Definitely, for sure. We got a third-person camera. There's no collision, so we'll go through things like before and all that. So we will have to implement that next time. And I don't want the camera to snap back to its original, position. I want the player to change direction. I want the way you move to be relative to the camera instead of the player. So we'll have to do that next time as well. So let me write that in like a to-do list or something in our camera controller. I'll let that out because that's not helping anything right now. Let's say, what is it? Left shoulder option. And so we can moves around, let's say rotates around the player. Shoulder, if they're standing, or if they're standing still, moves the direction the direction the player is facing if they're walking. And rotates the player if the player is walking. Alright, so those are the 3 rules, and then obviously to-do list to make the left shoulder option work. And obviously, I think most games don't have like a left shoulder, right shoulder option. And I think the type of game I'm interested in isn't, or doesn't, but I would like to figure that out, I think. Regardless. And I would like a camera. I would like to not rotate it around the player again. If they hold down a specific button to just rotate the camera around the player as they're walking. So rotate hold button to rotate camera around player as if they were walking. When they're walking. Right, that should explain it. Let's just say option to switch With right shoulders. Camera position. Maybe what we could do is just have the shoulder be the player. So, well, yeah, put the shoulder where the player is, and just have a camera offset. But that's kind of what I'm doing, anyways. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'll write that down. Ideas. Shoulder. Same position as player, but have an offset with the camera, like so. What else do we need to do? What else did I want to do? Oh yeah, collision, we need that. Camera, collision. It's just that. Yep, you don't need to do that. What else? I think, was that it? Is that really all I wanted to do for this camera? Huh. Yeah, so we'll do this before collision, because collision's kind of like a last thing, you know. Left, right shoulders, camera position. Yeah, camera collision. Man, I don't remember exactly what else I wanted to do. Let's put this. Well, actually, no, that's fine. We might not need this vector 2 equals vector, or we might not need this equals part here since it's setting both x and y now. But I don't know. I'll leave just in case. Or actually, I could just test that right now. Yeah, we don't need it. But this is cool. I like this. We've made a lot. We've made good progress, especially. We just need what else? What else? What else? I swear to God, there was something else I wanted to add to the to-do list, but I don't remember. I don't know. I'll have to think of it as we continue on, I guess, or off stream. I'll think of it. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna look at some videos because I actually didn't watch any third-person camera videos before I went into this stream today. So that's something I gotta look into, and I gotta look into this single point entry videos again, or look more into that. I guess I only watched one video about it, but it seemed like a good concept. And I also gotta figure out or watch more about the event structure as well. So we'll see about all that. But yeah, I think that's it for today. I think that's a good stream. Good 2 hours, 13 minutes. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who chatted during. We will be back soon, hopefully. I'm still in kind of a bit of a rush this month with my game, or my school, I mean. That we have to basically release it at the end of the month, and each week is like, oh, first week is alpha stage, second week is beta stage, so you gotta have everything done for the beta, and the third week is when we release it. So the first week was just planning, basically. Second week was actually doing the alpha, which is what we just finished, and then we gotta do the beta and then release it. So it's a bit of a time crunch this month, so I'm not 100% sure on how much time I'll have to stream, but I'll probably try to make it work. And it doesn't help that I am oh, welcome into place. Right now, it's just a third person type of thing. I'm just messing around, not really making a full game probably, but we'll see what comes of these streams. I'll probably release it if I stream enough to work on it enough, if you know what I mean. So that could be cool. But right now, this stream just did the third person camera basically. Not finished yet, but yeah. And no, I've never used Godot. Also, I've only been working in Unity for a little over a month, about a month and a half now. Yeah. I know a lot of people like Godot. I've used it. Thanks. Yeah. But yeah, as I was just saying, I think I'm gonna end the stream here actually. It's been a good 2 hours. If you want T-Plays, obviously the stream will still be up on my Twitch, when I end it. But also my streams over on YouTube, stream on both. They're over on my YouTube channel forever. So I also have a lot of previous coding streams for Minecraft plugins that I've worked on. You can check those out if you want to as well. I have a lot, as well as some game streams. Anyways. So yeah, if you're interested in that, there's that. I have a Discord server. I'm not 100% sure if the chat commands are actually working for that, but they should. If you're interested in that, I ping whenever I go live. Let me see if I can actually send the message for that. Oh, lead developer on something. There's a rusting to go. Looks like it's centering it if you're not the one typing this out. Here, I'll check my dashboard. Yeah, I don't know why it's censoring whatever that is, unless you're the one censoring that, but cool. Let me see if this Discord command works. Hopefully it should. Doesn't appear to. Oh yeah, I think it's because Nightbot only works on one, and it's on YouTube, I think. It'd be really disappointing, but let me just grab the link, I'll just paste it. It's also on my Twitch channel page, so that should also be there. There you go. Yeah, that's my Discord if you want. I ping whenever I go live, whenever I do a coding stream or a game stream. There's 2 different roles for it. Get whatever you like. And yeah, let me chat. Let me test YouTube commands. Maybe not. And Nightbot sucks. Let's paste it in there myself. All right. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for chatting. And I will. Oh, Nightbot finally put it on YouTube. Very delayed, but it's fine. Yeah. See you next time. Follow the Twitch if you like Twitch. Follow, subscribe to the YouTube if you prefer YouTube. Trying to grow. Definitely join the Discord, and that's about it. See you next time. Again, thanks for tuning in. Again.